Greetings, mortals, and welcome to me picking up a camera and putting it on a thing. How's it going?
So, when last we left off, we'd finished mastering all the classes. There are 3 achievements left in this game. There are 3 achievements left in this game. I'm assuming that one of them is going to be fighting and finishing the final boss. And then we have the real final boss that we're going to beat just for the sake of our pride. I think we're going to do the final boss thing before we beat the Sequoia, just for funsies. I think that'll be an amusing route. So, yesterday we finished mastering all the classes, and now we can basically get ourselves set up with a full build. We just need to go over to the Mercury Stone. It's possible that we're missing some really interesting, like, build-defining gear that we don't know exists. That is entirely possible. And we're not going to worry about it. We're going to work with not just what we have, but what we're about to have once I finally get to Granny's. Once we get to Granny's. Okay, so. So we're popping over to the Jade Cavern. And we are going to be jumping from here. Shit. Not necessarily a great sign that we were fucking up that jump that many times in a row, but, you know, don't worry about it. We got the hard jump relatively quickly, so. Okay, we have the Warrior Mail. This just makes you generate 50% more threat. That's not that interesting. Alright, 10% more threat. Mimic Mail. This gives strength while unarmed plus 30. Rogue Vest gives just 20 speed and 30 attack. 20 speed is very nice, though. 30 attack isn't bad either. I'm going to go ahead and take this just in case. I don't think I'm going to need it. I don't think that I need duel ready. Generating less threat is not the best effect for Thinger, but this isn't terrible. I'll go ahead and equip this. It could be useful for certain shenanigans with our person. So this gives 3 turns of magic up at the start of the fight. This gives increased healing, but it also gives 60 spirit. We'll take that. This gives 60 mind and spirit and some spell lifesteal. Scholar Robe allows the equipping of medium headgear regardless of current class, and heavy helmets regardless of current class. This is kind of interesting, but I don't know how useful that is. Chemist Robe, it has 200 resist, which is somewhat unique. Never miss physical attacks. That's interesting. This is actually very, very useful. So that would allow me to use the Witch Hat to do some real shenaniganry. That actually is a build-defining piece of gear. So the preventing me from ever missing a physical attack, I basically I could do a lot of bullshit with that. It also saves the 2 thinger. So Dervish Robe is not terrible. How much money do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have enough. We're just going to actually buy all of these. I don't think anything else is that relevant, but we're doing it. It doesn't look like this person has unique dialogue if you purchase every one of these things in the entire game, which is too bad. I was kind of wondering if maybe there would be something that would happen as a result of that, but that's fine. So we're going to teleport back to our home point. And we're going to need to figure some stuff out. So we have a thing that allows us to auto-hit with all attacks. All physical attacks. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just curious, because it's not unreasonable to put additional content behind mastering everything, but it doesn't look like they put anything behind mastering it. At least not there. So, if I were... If I were to try to utilize... that, how would I go about doing it? Take a look at... which one's the shaman room? It's fairly good. It has very good mind and spirit on it. The spell lifesteal would be good if I could survive a single hit from anything, but for the most part I can't survive a single hit from anything. So for my purposes it's not super useful. But it would be very, very, very powerful if I could basically consistently get enemies to hit me for 90% of my max HP instead of 130% of my max HP. That would be a very life-changing thing. So, right now, we need to be generating an attack reduction and a magic attack reduction. We can do Magic Break, which gives us one of those 2 effects. Do I want to change my strategy with you from spamming nukes to spamming status effects? Or do I want... maybe I could try to do that with you as well. The issue is that would mean that I wouldn't be using trickery. Let's take a look here. We have Beastmaster. I don't think gives me anything that I care that much about. We get these effects, which aren't that bad. We finished with you. So let's get Pumpkin set up a bit. Pumpkin needs to be a Reaper. that gives us access to reaping as a passive, which I think is critically important for our entire strategy. If we give them wild arts as a secondary, what abilities does that give us? That gives us... Take a look here quick. I feel like somebody needs to be a hunter. Right? Except they don't need to be a hunter, they need to be like a... They need to be like a white mage? Not white mage, a time mage. Let's see here. So the time mage has very good agility growth. We'll see how much agility they actually have in practice. So Mimic's Mail is heavy armor that gives 10% more physical damage and thinger. Do we want to equip this? Just because it has very, very heavy physical defense. Let's see. And I think Bone Trophy is probably more useful than the other one for this. That's the idea. We will belittle them until we succeed. So, unfortunately, the secondary effect on this is not super useful to me. That's okay, though. Okay, so that gives us something approaching a coherent build. And gives us access to Gouge, which is an armor debuff, and Furrow, which is a resist debuff. But I don't think we're going to use the resist debuff because I've now got... That's not the right thing. I've now got a setup, and this is the first action or the first action, unfortunately. So this does 100% more damage if the target is asleep and doesn't wake sleeping targets. This has massively more attack power baseline. We have a sleep built in that we should probably be taking advantage of. The issue is this worth it? I would say probably yes. Because I could set up a sleep to do some crazy burst damage right off the bat. So the issue... Wait, no. We could give you Execute, which gives us harm power and harm magic. And we could give you the Pointy Hat. And the Weaver Robe. We could give you the Undead Ring. I took off the wrong Hema ring. You have... What I've done here is set up a party where nobody can do anything useful. So, what if I set you up a little bit differently? What if we set you up as a rogue, which gives us a little bit less damage, but allows us to take mixed magic on the character who is expected to have the lowest threat. What if we were to do that? Shall we say? So this character has the ability to revive. They're not a great healer. We have wild arts available. We have the ability to put the targets to sleep for a turn. We have an undead ring. And it's honestly tempting. What are your... I could use haste on turn 1 and try to go ham with it. The problem is that I'm all excited about way too many different things that are not actually mission critical. Let's see. I can equip Venom Coat. Revival is not bad. Do you have Stalwart? You already have it equipped. Perfect. So... I feel like the Dream Hunter setup on the Weaver makes a degree of sense for dealing with a boss that we can interrupt the first big nuke with sleep and then just sort of like plow into it. I think that makes a degree of sense. We have the ability with this character to use harm power and harm magic. Wait, we don't have what we need though. This is Time Mage. We needed the Hunter as the secondary. But you don't have Hunter Master, do you? What's it called? Hunt. Okay. You don't have hunt as a... I think I need to make that happen. Let's get Hunter. Doesn't necessarily need to be mastered, but it's going to need to be pretty close to mastered, I think. This gives me another 35% less threat, which is kind of interesting. We can use Hunter with Execute as our secondary. For right now. Okay, let's take a look at what I want to do with the other characters. You have the ability to use Magic Break or Resist Break. I don't necessarily need this. Reverse Polarity would be nice to have access to for certain circumstances. I think I'd maybe take Monster Magic as my secondary. Chivalry does have useful things in it, but those are useful things that don't involve attacking the enemy at all. So Monster Magic allows me to revive, it allows me to heal. It allows me to do quite a bit of stuff. So I think we're going to work with that for right this moment. Let's go to the... Do we have our setup appropriate for this? Yes, I think so. So we're going to teleport to the Poseidon Stone, which... Was there another gauntlet area that would work better for my purposes? I feel like I found a place that would work better, potentially. Okay, so Eagle Stance, checkmate. I want to take a look at what this looks like. So Quick Shot, followed by Take Aim, is not terrible. And basically, because everything has a cooldown, we'll just have an ability that we're using every turn that will hopefully get us good results. Let's see, how many LP do I actually need for you? So Snipe does a shit ton of damage. We have Pick Off. Can I stack this to 100%? I can probably get it pretty damn close to 100%, right? I think I feel like I've already got 95% between the 35, the 35, and the 25. So depending on the way that those are calculated with each other, I might be able to get myself to 100% threat reduction. A 100% less threat would mean that you generate 0 threat. 50% less threat would mean that you generate half as much threat. It's all multiplicative, right? So, taking basically taking the value up is going to have exponentially increasing or reducing returns. So if you add 10% to the value and you subtract 10% from the value, they're still fairly similar. But if you subtract 50% or you add 50%, each additional point is adding diminishing or accelerating returns depending on which direction that you're going. So the by the time you're getting to that point, a 50% threat increase is giving you a 50% difference in efficacy, whereas you're doubling your efficacy if it's something that you're taking down. So, as an example, if you have a 50% modifier on damage taken, you're having damage taken, which is a 50% modifier conceptually. However, it's a 50% modifier which leads to a 100% increase in survivability. So the durability, like how long you live, is doubled. So the and that is again not that crazy a difference. When things really start to get out of hand is as you get above the 50% marker, things just start to get silly, right? So like, you can basically, if you can reduce damage threshold, if you can reduce damage amounts, that pairs well with healing and lifesteal and things like that in a way that basically gets you to the point where you can reduce overall damage to 0 much more efficiently. In the case of like threat reduction, if you could get to 0 threat, so here, this is the easiest way to think of it, right? So if you were to sort of follow the logic of like multiplying up or down by similar values, you can think of threat as, is it better to generate more threat or is it better to generate less threat, right? So generate more threat on the target that needs threat or generate less threat on the target that wants to avoid it. If you get yourself to 0% threat, right? If you do a minus 100% threat on the target that needs to generate less threat, there's no amount of increased threat that you can generate on the person who's trying to generate threat that can be as useful as just dropping everybody else down to 0. right? Because you can't beat that. There's no way to go up and get to a null, the opposite of a null value. There's no end to the numbers going up, right? The numbers going down for this context have a defined limit at 0. And as you approach that limit, silly things happen. And that's probably the way to describe it, is in the context of limits. However, my formal mathematical education is not very strong. It's been 20 years, so the actual terminology one would use to describe these phenomena is not something that I'm that familiar with. So for me, it's easiest to just think of things as you have accelerating returns as you approach 0, you have diminishing returns as you move away from 0 when it comes to multiplicative modifiers, right? So attack boosts are, generally speaking, going to be less impactful as you stack them, unless they stack multiplicatively. So like any additive scaling, like say you add like I don't know, you add 10%. If you add 10% of the base value, that's going to have diminishing returns very rapidly. Now, if you multiply the whole value by 10%, then that's not necessarily the case, right? If you multiply the whole thing by 10%, then we get into a different kind of territory. But if you get... but whereas with defensive values, the more of it you have, the more powerful additional defense is, unless it's doing, well, even if it's doing purely multiplicative stuff, because of the fact that healing is a thing, and it's much more of a thing for you than it is for the opponent. Let's see what pickoff does. 1500 base damage. That's pretty good. We could swap from trying to do a pump. Now, the issue with the survival there... Wait. Do I not have the thing? No, I don't have that equipped because I'm a hunter right now, not a mage. Mistakes were made. I wonder if there's other stuff. But probably not, right? I guess I don't need to do the eagle thing for that. I think that I one-shot those without it. I don't think I one-shot these without it. Yeah, the hunter has the ability to do such an ungodly amount of damage. And also stack threat reduction in a way that's really, really intense. Ooh. I'm trying to think if there's something else that I would want. Yeah, one of the really important things when you're making a build in a game is to identify how the scalars interact with each other. If the scalars have additive scaling with each other, then you're largely going to want to focus very heavily on defense, because defense is going to be going to scale very strongly with additive modifiers, and if the defensive scaling is like multiplicative, you honestly might end up largely ignoring it unless you can get a single modifier to be extremely large. Games with a lot of multiplicative scaling have a tendency to extremely bias toward offensive abilities, because defensive abilities stack in a just like garbage in a multiplicative scaling environment. And offensive abilities get really crazy really fast because you're able to just keep stacking things that give you, okay, X%, X%, X%. One of the issues with Disgaea as a series is that your characters don't really get generically more powerful as you go up. The defensive builds in Disgaea tend to fall apart almost immediately because the way that the defense versus attack system works makes it so that the really powerful attacks that you're going to be using later on are multiplying your attack stat in such a way that it basically negates the defense stat completely. The way that the mechanics of the game work, your defense stat is used natively and is reducing damage of the attack by sort of like a flat amount, but doesn't have any meaningful multipliers on it. Whereas your attack values are multiplying by the power of the attack that you're using, and then being checked against base defense. They're not being checked against, you're not checking attack versus defense. You're checking the modified attack value after you take into account the power of the attack. Which is why later on, it doesn't matter how strong you are or a thing is, everybody's one-shotting each other left and right. Eventually, you can get strong enough that, okay, well, my defense power is 72 times there, because the numbers just do get that ridiculous. You can eventually get to the point where you can negate the enemy's incoming attacks. But generally speaking, the attacks are so strong that they functionally ignore defense that's similar to the attack power, which doesn't happen earlier on. And it's just a consequence of the way that they built the systems in the game. Whereas in a lot of other games, let's see if I can think of a really good example where you can just stack defense to make yourself damn near unkillable. Let's see. Breath of Fire 3, you can stack to a certain point, but I believe that the enemies have a minimum damage they reach at a certain point. So you can't actually reduce the damage below that point, but it's something where you can get crazy defense values to the point where you can actually survive attacks from an enemy that's supposed to automatically kill you. It just increases its attack stat all the way to the maximum possible value, and then just starts shooting you. And you can actually survive those attacks by just building an appropriate defense build, which I think is very cool. On the Berserker video, I believe Peiko survives a straight-up attack from the Berserker after it uses Berserk, which is usually not a thing people like even attempt to do, right? Like people will basically just put on things that make you immune. Not immune. People will put on things that make it so that you are you're automatically revived when you die. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, there's a thing similar to that. I'm sure there was some like there was some Three Kingdoms card game that had something like that, where I think you're like immune to damage if you don't have any cards in your hand or something weird like that. I don't remember the specific details. On one of the characters. I don't remember who it was, and I don't remember what the game was called. We played it a few times, but we ran into an issue where, like, some of the people that we used to play games with were not super comprehending of the idea of games where you don't know who your teammates are until the game starts. And what? Sorry, not even that. But like, you don't know the roles of anybody during the game either. So like, yeah, it caused some problems because people would basically make alliances before the game started, and it's like, what do you do? You can't do that. You're on different teams. You don't know what teams you're on. But yeah, let's see. We're getting close. We just need to have 4 more, and we don't need to master this. We just need to get the relevant attack abilities. So once we have all of the attack abilities, we can start making attempts on the boss and figure out how we want to handle it. It might be kind of fun to try to do a full a fully new just hunter setup where we do the hunter as like our primary damage dealer, and we try to burst the boss down before it kills me. We can use the sleep to get that extra turn. The other question is whether it would make sense. And the answer, I think, is no. Because we need to have light armor equipable. We also need Backstabber, actually, on this character. If they're going to be stacking... Oh, wait, no. We don't need Backstabber because Backstabber is only if they're the lowest threat. And they're not going to be the lowest threat because I'm generating 0 threat with Keyline. So we don't need to worry about that. We could hypothetically set up some really, really just wild stuff. But we're not going to do a full setup here. We're just going to be doing sort of like a cobbled together nonsense. Let's see. Well, games where you don't know what's... So, in a lot of modern, like, card and board games, you have secret trader mechanics. You have basically secret roles, right? And you don't know which players are on what teams at the start. And sometimes you really don't know what teams people are on until the end. So trader games are very interesting to play as a result of that. And those games are kind of like they're undermined by when players don't realize that they need to they can't create an alliance before the game and expect to actually work with that alliance during the game. You can form alliances, but you have to form the alliances in the game. Because what ends up happening is that the fundamental structure of the game is you have a person who's playing as the monarch, and then you have everybody else's roles secret. Right? So, like, all the other roles are secret in the game. So you'll know what character the person's playing as, but you won't know whether they are... which objective they're trying to complete. So basically, the monarch has a victory condition of killing everyone in the game who isn't on their side. And then you have rebels whose job is just to kill the monarch. That's all they need to do. And then you have a minister whose job is to win with the monarch. And you have the... then you have the... what are they called? I don't even remember what they're called. They're like a traitor or something. I don't remember what they're called. But their goal is to kill everybody else before the monarch dies. So their winning condition requires that all of the other players die before the monarch, which makes their job very difficult, but also makes them play similarly to the minister who's on the monarch's side. Because for a large portion of the game, they're trying to prevent the monarch from getting killed before everybody else goes down. So it's the whole thing. I don't know who John LeClaire is, and nobody has ever made a comparison between us, to my knowledge. I do not know. Anyway, so the issue with that is that if you try to set up and then respect an alliance that you made before the game starts, you'll do weird things like you'll be the monarch and then be actively working against yourself to help the person whose goal is to murder you. Whose goal is obviously to murder you. Which, is a problem. It's a problem. And it doesn't lead to, compelling gameplay, because, you're working at odds to your own win condition. So let's see. Oh, I only needed 4, not 6. I don't know why I saved up 6. Okay, so we've now finished this up. We now have access to all of these. This is a cooldown of 8, which is a long cooldown. We have a lot of stuff with cooldown 2. Unfortunately, Thorn Shot is weak against high defenses, but that's okay. So, let's warp to our home point, and we're going to save the game. So, our goal right now is we've got the Dream Hunter equipped. We might swap that out eventually. This is going to be a character who's very, very fixated on cooldowns. Like, everything that they do is cooldown dependent, and that's fine. We don't need the Hema Ring. I think I'm actually going to do something a little weird here. And we are going to change your class over to Weaver. Our head slot, we will give the pointy hat. Body slot, we give the Weaver robe. And then we give you the Bone Trophy and the Undead Trophy. But these fade if you die. We don't have covert. Yeah, this isn't gonna work without changing up more of my stuff. We will swap the undead ring out to give the undead ring to you because of reasons. Then we have the bone trophy on you. Reduces your max HP, which is fine. And we will give you... Let's take a look at the thinger list. I'm sure we haven't actually killed, funnily enough. So, Spirit Cage, we don't know what strengths and weaknesses it has, or rather, it probably just doesn't have any. And then the last one is Periculum, which doesn't have any strengths or weaknesses. Pain Spreader is an AoE. Yeah, Spirit Cage is weak against the Game Eagles. Well, that's probably true. That sounds reasonable. That seems accurate. Okay, I'm trying to rebuild my party in my head again, and I'm not going to do it. So I need to start just making an attempt on something. Let me take a look here. You have Reaper and Wild Arts. You have Monster Magic available, which allows you to cast multiple fun things. You have the ability to interrupt. Let's go make an attempt on this critter and see what happens. I don't think I'm going to beat it here, but we're going to make an attempt anyway. So let's see. We don't need to steal from you. You're activating a stance and then doing something. Haste comes out on everybody. Eagle stance. And overload on Apple. It's casting a spell. Unfortunately, we don't have the person we want going next. I think it's opening up with like Starflare or something like that. I'm gonna Satanic this. I don't think I survive if it hits me here. Wow, that's real rude. Okay, so we're going to Rending Cut now. And did we have a thing active? We did. We had that stance active that's no longer active. So we do get the ability to do a Trick Slash to interrupt this incoming attack. Burn. So the combustion applies a burn, so it hit me to 1, and then I died to the burn. So, we can Trick Slash. You Yeah, it was pretty rude. It was pretty rude. I don't think it should have done that. Okay, checkmate does not do a ton of damage. We're going to go ahead and harm power. And we're going to... We are still the bottom threat. We're going to eye gouge. Okay, we are going to... we're going to life drink. We're basically getting a feel for how hard we think this is going to be. We can use harm magic if we want, but we should... Oh, right! We took away all of our bow abilities by giving myself... Okay. Give me a second. So I need to do a few quick alterations. You need to have... I don't know why it's so hard for me to find hunt. Let's see. That. We also don't have a second thing here. I could give you a ribbon, since you did literally just die to a dot that I could have prevented by just equipping a ribbon on you. Alright, let's make another attempt here with a more appropriate setup. Okay, we're casting haste. We are shadow cutting. We're using Eagle Stance, and we are using... That's so true. That's pretty true. I could try putting shell on you. I think I'm not going to worry about it. I think I might just let them get down to 1. I should have given them quick. They might actually have it. We'll see. I could try casting Reflection on them. See if I can get it off. Probably not, right? Okay, it's not even attacking Apple right now. We're going to activate Feral Stance. And then we will do a Satanic. Fire Blast comes out. That's not lethal. It will be lethal at the start of their turn if I don't heal them. Okay, so we have Unguent, which we can cast. We're going to Quick Shot. And we are going to Snipe. We're going to activate our biggest hit. And it doesn't do that much, if we're being honest. We're going to immediately... Oh, you're undead. I need you to be the one who has the immunity to that. We can just cast Regen. So Regen will counteract the burn, and we won't die. So the boss is now doing... another attack. This is it doing its AoE, I believe. We can life drink. Get our HP back. We can use Pick Off. And we can use Trick Slash. And then it's using... Pumpkin is immortal and cannot die. That is my story. I don't remember what ability this is that you're using. I guess we can use take aim. I'm gonna check Thorn Shot. It says weak against high defense. It sure is. What ability is this? MP Sickle. Okay. That's not super relevant. We can activate Rending Cut again. It's gonna take a little bit of work to be able to get through this. This thing has so much defense. You have to do it after they start casting. So that was a 3,500 damage crit. That was off the back of a proc. Okay, whoa. Okay, in this phase, you are very... I don't have the interrupt. I don't have the interrupt for you, friend. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That, you know? That's not fortunate for you. The worst possible combination. Because they get their turn next and thus can't be revived. Let's see here. This is a physical attack. I should be able to take a physical attack fairly comfortably. Never mind. Okay, the Pain Spreader did not kill Apple because of that thinger. I'm gonna go ahead and rewind. And you can eye gouge? You can't eye gouge. Okay, we are no longer able to do what we want to do here. We're gonna go ahead and cast Shell. We need everybody to start dealing buku damage. And... okay, we can quick shot. I should have actually put it to sleep. This would have been a good place to put it to sleep. Because it currently has lowered resistance. Oh, right, yeah, you have another stance in between, huh? Oh, right, I also have other abilities I can use. Oh, right, counter kill in this stance. So in this stance, there's not much I can do to it. But we got it to half life without saving up a burst phase for that thing. Let's take a look at this. Right, I forgot to do the thing. Wait, give me 1 second. Pumpkin needs to be immune. Wait, I can't give you a ribbon. What am I thinking? Okay. Do we need to have the Valkyrie mail equipped? Yes. We need the Valkyrie mail equipped because that counteracts the dot and prevents us from dying in a very sad fashion. I don't like dropping the attack power boost. We're We're gonna cast haste. We're actually gonna cast haste and then. Oh, I should have. We're actually gonna restart this. This is not the opening. So the opening. No, actually it is. Now that I think about it, no, I'm wrong because it's the first action. It's not the first turn. So, we need to cast haste on the first action. So we can shadow cut. And I think I might follow this up with slow. So we'll just do the quick attack into slow. Okay, so Stone Stance is coming out. What does Stone Stance do? 50% less physical damage. That's fine. We are going to activate Feral Stance. And we're not going to pull aggro off of French Silk. That's not going to happen. So we're going to Rending Cut. We're going to miss. Fire Blast comes out. And that is not enough to cause an instant death. We're going to cast this. And we are going to Snowflake. We're going to Reflex Stance, because I forgot to do that last time. We're going to Shadow Cut. Slow comes out. The boss is now slowed for a considerable amount of time. We try a Rending Cut again. This time we land it. And the boss is doing... We're getting the interrupt here. The boss is then going to follow up with the same thing that it did last time, which is something. I don't remember what it was. I forgot to do my quick shot on turn 2. I'm not going to use Snipe. I'm just going to use... This is self-only. Okay, I feel like I know what I want to do, actually. I'm gonna cast Daze. This lasts for 5 turns. We have Rend on you already. We'll use a Reaping Cut. We don't crit. And we will Shadow Cut. We do have the ability to interrupt this if we want. I don't think we want to. We have more important things to interrupt later. I legitimately don't even remember what it is that it does. Let's see. It's still taking half damage. I need to use the monster skill to boost my thinger. The interrupt has a 12 AP cost, which I can't do every round. So we need to basically manage it in that way. What do I want to do with you? I think I'm going to use Take Aim. You can do... You've already done a Rend. Ah, you don't have an axe equipped. Right. Okay. So you're using MP sickle. That's what you're doing. The reason that I keep forgetting is because it's so irrelevant. Okay. So we are going to do another trick slash here, or not trick slash. We're going to do another shadow cut here. And then the boss is going to activate a new form that will allow me to do better against it. We are going to cast... We're going to recast Haste on Apple. Our goal right now is, I think, to tag the effect we're looking for. We're not using a sneak attack. No sneak attacks are coming out this fight because we need the trick slashes to come out. Pain Spreader comes out immediately. That misses everybody except Apple. And let's see here. We are going to checkmate. Okay, you are going to... I shouldn't have done that. I should have boosted Apple's potency there. We're going to cast Haste on French Silk because we need to get the thing out soon. We're not going to use Sleep Bomb yet. We're going to wait until it's about to transition to the next phase, or just until things align in the way we want them to align. One of the two. The Reaping Cut. And now we use... Overload on Apple. Okay, Apple has got Overload on. We actually go twice before the boss goes. We're going to Unguent. Because I don't think we have anything else that we need to do this turn. And then you are going to... Oh man, it would be really nice to be able to do this in a slightly different order. I didn't forget to quick shot, no. We're gonna Sleep Bomb. No, we're not. We're not. We're gonna wait on it. We're gonna Trick Slash. And it's going to delay its nuke for quite a while. We also have another turn coming in, but that turn isn't going to do what we need it to do, unfortunately. I didn't just Sleep Powder and then remove it, did I? No, I trick shotted it. Okay, so this takes no time, so it's not worth doing. We're going to... Let's just checkmate here, I think. I don't think we have any other setup that we need to do for this. It really sucks the timing that we have on our party right now. Because of reasons that you'll see. Okay, we're checkmating. You know what? I'm going to check. If I haste you, Does that change your turn order? It doesn't look like it does. And that's unfortunate. We have all of the buffs that we need to have for as long as we need to have them. We are going to just cast a haste onto Keyline, which won't accomplish the objective that I'm looking for. But is broadly useful nonetheless. I stand corrected. This is perfect. This is perfect. Oh, baby. Okay. Okay, then. So, we can shadow cut. Do it's tempting to do the greedy thing. Now, the really greedy thing to do would be to just interrupt it again on this upcoming turn. If I can just interrupt it again, there's two things that can happen. The first is that my life is sad. And it does some bullshit that I don't want it to do. We have 2 turns left on the overload. Do we Trick Slash in the hopes that it doesn't just fucking obliterate me? You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna Trick Slash, and it's doing a stance change. I have the opportunity here to get a free hit in. We can just do a take aim, because that's not my most powerful ability or my second most powerful ability. We can checkmate. We can Reaping Cut. And then you can use Sleep Bomb. And then you are going to cast Quick. You're not going to cast Quick, not this turn. You are going to, because that just puts me after it anyway. We are instead going to take a Quick Shot. This is why we were holding on to those Quick Shots. I wasn't expecting to be able to Trick Shot at that many times. So we're doing a Quick Shot. This does double damage and does not break the thing. We're going to Snipe. 42% chance this crits for 5,200. It crit for 5,200 damage. Let's go. Now, from here, we need to cast Overload on Apple again, because Apple's Overload is worn off. And then you are going to cast... you're going to double cast Protect, because things are about to get dicey. And you're going to cast it on yourself. You are not going to do anything. You know what? Yes, you will. No, you won't, because the things that have a charge time, unfortunately, are thinger. We are going to Quick. We're not going to Quick, unfortunately. We're unfortunately not quite where we need to be able to get the Quick off. We're in the exact wrong location on the charge time, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and do a pick off. 42% chance, we got the 4,700 damage right there. Now, the boss is going to be transitioning to a new phase here. And we care about Trick Slash. I'm going to sneak attack here, I think. That's 1600 damage. You are going to checkmate. You are going to use a Reaping Cut or a Rending Cut. I'm going to use a Rending Cut. We get the crit. Can we quick? We cannot quick. So, instead of quick, we are going to use Take Aim again. I'm now realizing it doesn't matter. It died to the dot. Let's go. We got our proof of merit. And maybe this is what we need. Let's go talk to the Eldritch Horror by Granny now. That actually went pretty smooth. That strategy worked really well. The ability to just like plow damage in on the sleep turn. Just imagine if we had actually had our charge time line up slightly better. If our charge time lined up slightly better, we could have used Quick. If we could use Quick, we'd have the ability to burn every single cooldown, and we'd be able to use like Quick Shot twice. And shit like that. We would have gone so crazy if we had been able to use Quick there, but alas, such is not for us. Okay, so you don't do anything new. I don't know if this is actually going to do anything for me, because it might just be kind of like a reference to it might be a reference to like the proto achievements that a lot of games had back in the day. Okay, so now we have the final boss. And that's interesting. We're actually going before it gets the thing off. We're gonna haste the party. Do I want to sleep bomb? Interrupt the res? No, I want to set up for the sleep bomb. We're gonna want to set up for that. So the Raised Dead is coming out. Things get really nasty immediately. And you are going to Eagle Stance into Swallowtail. Okay, you are going to activate Feral Stance, and then you can just use exclusively AoEs. Okay, you have already done that. Let's take our quick shot at the boss. We can follow that up with a barrage. We can AoE again. Unfortunately, we're not going to go again before the Uprooted goes. So I think we backstab here. Backstab will get us... Backstab gets us there. It dies instantly. The first attack comes out, and we Nightfall. Yes, we Nightfall. We're just going to do exclusively AoEs. We missed outright. That's rough. Okay, we can use Take Aim on you. I should probably slow it, actually. We will Swallowtail. We're going to basically try to burn down the other two in addition to it. We Shadow Cut here. Shroomy Leer comes out. That's kind of surprising on target. You have the ability of Nightfall again, so you will. You're not doing a ton of damage. Headbutt comes out. That is a crit for 1,000 damage, because of course it is. And you are going to be very sad about your damage prospects. We could Eye Gouge, and we will. And we can tag you. Continue AoEing. This is a miss. We can't do this anymore. We're gonna just put you to sleep. Alright. Can we cast Quick before... No. So, we're not gonna cast Quick into this. Okay, we got the crit there. French Silk goes down. And you can't choose your targets, I'm realizing. Okay, you can cast Life. You can't just cast Quick, right? Okay. Cannot cast Quick before it goes. So we will use Pick Off. We didn't crit. Okay, we're gonna Bloodwell. Yeah, this thing's a huge pain in the ass to make die. We're gonna go for the backstab here. There's Swallowtail. And I think it's using Rally? Yes. It's using Rally, which it's only using on itself, but that's still very dangerous. We're going to not bother with this, because if we take a single point of damage, we're going to die. Either way. We have less than 500 HP. We don't have enough AP to interrupt. So we're not interrupting this, and it's just going to pick up both of them again immediately. I was kind of hoping that we'd have a longer delay on that. And I died, so I don't have the damage boost on. I haven't even gotten this to half HP. Whew. The fire absorption. Ooh. Paired with... It just has so much HP. Like, this thing's so durable. We're gonna Nightfall, and then it's going to just kill me outright. Let's see. So, what am I gonna do to beat this fucking boss? Because the answer is probably nothing to do with Weaver. I can't do any burst damage on it, really. It doesn't, like, take enough physical damage. I guess I could lean entirely into you. I did never slow, that's true. I don't think it makes a difference. The key there is that this is a strategy that relied in the other thing on interrupting a lot. And being able to deal a bunch of physical damage during the physical damage window. And I think the best that I've done in terms of fighting this thing was when I just went ham with trying to like nuke it before it could do anything with spells. I think that was the best that I ever did. So I think we're going to try to make a casting build that makes sense for the party. So we're going to give you the Undead Ring. No, we're going to give you the other one. I need you to have at least one Hemo Ring on. You know what? I can give you the Undead Ring. We can give you... the Mimic Mail. The regen at the start of your turn isn't that relevant compared to... Unfortunately, the Scythe is such low damage. Is there not a higher damage Scythe? Like, the damage on this is really bad. Okay, the third Scythe on the list might... have more damage. So maybe I need it if I can get... If I could get this Scythe, the problem is that I just don't know where it is. I have no idea where this Scythe would be. What are our axes look like? We have plus 50% variance. I wonder... I doubt the variance is going to make a huge difference. I don't think it does. I don't think the variance is going to help me that much against this. But having the additional 45 base attack would help me quite a lot. So if I were to go with... If I don't use Reaping, and I instead use Wild Arts to get the job done, we could equip the Decapitator, which has a really unfortunate special effect for my purposes. I could hypothetically... That would be very good for a counter build, actually. Now that I think about it. Single target axe unarmed skill. MP absorb. That just is based off of strength. It doesn't do a ton right now. There isn't any... None of those do like ignore defense or anything like that. If I were to cast... I didn't actually fully equip myself. So equip Gandalf's ring. We equip the Mage's Pike. This gives us 6 turns of magic up right at the start. We don't need the pointy hat on you. We can take the Celestial Crown, I guess. We can take... What gives me... Give this, I guess. And French Silk is currently a fencer. We need to swap them to... And I think we actually established that Wizard just does gargantuanly large amounts of damage compared to everything else because of that 15% modifier, right? Alright, we're actually going to set you as a Wizard. You have this set up. Do I want to change anything about this? Yes, I think I want to give you the Flame Seeker. Then we will give you Initial Focus. This gives you turn 1 magic attack boost. You don't need this. You could equip this, actually. %. Yes, that's it. We need to explode on it. That'll do the job. That'll definitely get the job done. We don't need initial focus. We can do focus shield. And we have fast cast. We have auto revival. We would prefer to have perfect dodge over auto revival. If I gave you... Not you. If I gave you... What's that thing called? There's a thing that starts you with some... Adrenaline gives me 6 AP at this battle start. In theory, I could use this on Keyline with high enough speed. I could use that with high enough speed to actually interrupt the initial revive, which would be nice. Okay. What is their secondary? I guess. Let's do Chivalry to apply resist down, I guess. Give you the Paladin Wand. Blood Hat. We're going to give you the Nomad Vest, because then we don't need to worry about that, actually. So we give the Nomad Vest, and that, in theory, could be very valuable. This allows equipping a heavy helmet. So this gives 50 mind and spirit and the ability to equip a heavy helmet. This actually is perfect for allowing you to do this plus the Guts Busby. Unfortunately, the Guts Busby isn't useful for this fight. God damn it. I am happy that the previous boss died to a dot, though. That makes me happy. Celestial Thingamabobber. Subcommand for you. We could do Monster Magic if we wanted. Could also do Beatmaker. Let's do Beatmaker, because that'll just allow us to regen our mana back up if we run out. That seems reasonable to me. Alright, let's take a look at this. So, if we get ourselves into this fight, we can Trick Slash. Wait. That's not a cast spell. You're not charging an ability. You son of a bitch. Wow, okay. Wow, this boss is a real piece of shit. Oh my god. Phew. Okay, we're gonna Rending Cut. It is going to follow up immediately with... We can't use... Oh, what am I doing? I gave myself the fire stick that I can't use for this. So I have the ability to stack so much stuff that I don't need. We'll equip this. This gives me 80. No, the goal isn't to heal it, unfortunately. My life would get a lot easier if the goal was to heal it, but no. Not today. Man, I don't know what to do against this thing. I don't have the ability to do any, like, instant silences, right? There's not a lot of silences. And I can't. There's no way I can use the summon before it goes. I guess I could sleep it off the bat. And then summon. Let's see if we use the summon with you. We could paralyze it, or let's. Oh, that's a good point. We should definitely pointy hat. I was thinking that it reduced the accuracy of all of my spells, or all of my abilities by that, but it's reducing your accuracy stat by 35%, which doesn't affect spells at all. That's part of the reason that I wasn't using it. It was because I thought I needed to do a specific build for it, but that's fine. So, we're going to Sleep Bomb. We are going to Feral Stance. You are going to start casting Thunder. No. Yes. We're going to start casting Thunder. This is 2,700 damage. You are going to start summoning Niltzi. No, we're not going to use Niltzi. We are going to use this. My goal is to basically do as much to the boss before it gets a turn as possible. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Give me a second. We need to change up the strat. Do we have something we can do to set you up? Yes. We're gonna cast. We don't need this that we have here. Instead, we're going to use monster magic, maybe? No, we're gonna cast haste. Yes, we'll set our secondary to time magic. What is time magic called? It's called time magic and I'm sitting right on it. Okay. So Keyline is a rogue and does need to have access to that rogue ability. What is your secondary setup? Mixed magic. That's fine. I can add resist down with that, which is potentially useful, potentially not. We'll see. So, you are going to Sleep Bomb. You are going to add Feral Stance. You are going to cast Haste on yourself. You are going to summon Guava. You, unfortunately, don't have a lot you can do here. We can use Furrow to inflict resist down. So that'll be useful. There's not going to be any damage taken by the time the Balm wears off, so we don't need to use Balm right now. Okay, Guava comes out. It is now paralyzed for 2 turns. We could backstab, but we don't need to backstab. What we need to use is sneak attack. Probably. No. We're gonna use frost. No, we don't need to use frost because we can actually do the thing. Status Amp might work. No, Status Amp is ally only. Can I quick and then... I guess we're gonna find out if I can quick and do 2 thunders. It looks like I can. So you are going to use Furrow. Unfortunately, the Furrow comes out after the Thunder does, but the second Thunder comes in after. There we go. So we can sneak attack. And it has 1 turn left of this. We're going to inflict a silence. It's going to continue trying to cast the same thing. Niltzi comes out. And I think I need to not use quick, maybe. It's going to be trying and failing to use that light spell. Well, that's some horseshit. Yeah, silence isn't even very good for this boss. Okay, we managed to get the boss half-life, and all it took was literally every point of mana that I have. So... What is your... It costs a tiny bit of MP. So I could do an MP drain strategy for this. This Spirit Cage has 41,600 HP, and it summons adds that each have another 7,000 HP, a little bit more than that on average. So, how would I don't know that that'll work. We can try MP Drain while it's asleep and see if it works. I would think that it wouldn't because it's just MP damage, right? So it should wake it up, in theory. We don't need attack for this part, so... What is it? Famine. Oh, you don't have the most. So let's see. Yeah, that woke it up. So, I can't MP drain while it's asleep. I could MP drain. I could do MP drain spam while the like after I do the initial setup. So if I swap you from Wizard to Scholar and keep you with the subcommand there, we could equip Judgment or the Staff of Balance. Let's go with Judgment. And you don't need Time Magic. You need Monster Magic. And you have Wild Arts, which is close enough for Governor work. You don't necessarily need this stuff, except you do because you're eventually going to need it. Go with Safeguard, I guess. We can go Threatening. Let's go Threatening. Alright. So... God, this boss is rough. You have... What is your secondary keyline? You have to swap it. You have to swap this out. You actually can't be a rogue. So... Do you have something that you need rogue for? Yeah, you actually do need to be a rogue, so... We're going to change out your subcommand to Monster Magic, which means that we don't have the ability to cast Refresh, which means we lose. So no, you do have to be on Mixed Magic, because I'm not winning this battle without a secondary mana regen mechanic. You're going to need that. And you can get the Red Hat equipped. Nobody else can equip that. Actually, wait. No, you can, but... You can, and you should. Who... We need the Pointy Hat equipped. The Wizard Robe gives 60 mind. This gives 50 mind. It's not quite as good. We lose the magic up for the first 3 turns. That's fine. So we're going to try this setup instead. So the purpose of this was to give us the Refresh Hat. And then you can do... the Wizard Robe, which you're going to be nuking with summons on turn 1. So I think that that's appropriate. So... We activate Sleep Bomb. You activate Feral Stance. You summon Guava. You are going to be using Thinger, but you're not doing it this turn, I don't think. Correct. So we're relying on that. Guava comes out. This paralyzes the boss. You cast Refresh on French Silk. You cast MP Sickle. You use Famine. You cast Scan. Because I don't want to waste a turn later on it. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to do what I would like to do here. Let's just tag another MP Sickle on. Okay, Niltzi comes out. It is a MP. You have 630? I had forgotten you have 630 MP. That's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to MP drain before I run out of turns. Ugh, this boss is so painful. Okay, I want to check something actually. This only has 47,000 HP. So why does the boss that has 2 adds have 42,000 HP? This is my question. Is why does the enemy that comes with 2 adds have the same amount of HP as what's supposed to be the hardest boss of the game? $5k less is an irrelevant amount less. It's the same amount of HP. It's actually massively more effective HP against physical damage. Because the Periculum, you have the ability to do physical damage during phase 2. Whereas the initial one has just fuck you levels of defense. Where is your defense listed? You have 737 base resist. So it like swaps its defense and resistance when it gets into phase 2, I think. When it uses Mist Stance. The Mist Stance might just reduce it to a 0 or something. Do I have that as an ability I can learn? That sounds like something a Nomad would do. No. I don't have the mana to be able to kill it with spellcasters. And with physical damage, I can't get close to killing it before it just obliterates me. It's only using 20 MP to cast the raise thing that it does, the revival. The only thing that I can think of as a way that I could get through this, like logistically, is if I could think of a much, much better DPS strategy than what I have. Or if the boss can only res its adds twice. When we were fighting Juzus only revived the adds a couple of times. It didn't do it continuously. So if there's a limited number of times that the adds can be raised, if the spell can only be cast a few times, then then hypothetically we could just do 100,000 damage. Not 100,000. It's more like 70,000. But we could do 70,000 damage total to win the fight. But everything costs so much, and MP regen is so weak in the later parts of the game that I don't know. I don't have actually. I don't have an answer for how I'm going to deal with this. My brain's working fine today. I'm not struggling with keeping all the variables in my head. I'm just completely immune to fire, so I can't use any of the strongest damage setups for spellcasters. Basically impervious to physical damage. I don't actually know. Because I don't want to just keep beating my head against the wall. I could try doing some sort of bizarre... I could try to do some sort of bizarre, incredibly complicated setup that involves using things like pocket sand. But that wouldn't help me because there's at least two that are going to be hitting me at any given time. And one of them becomes almost impervious to physical attacks. I have no idea what I need to do here. I just don't know. Mirror would be really cool if I could use this to copy statuses from enemies, but it's a single ally ability. Does the ability of the user's last hit by... I don't know. I don't know. I've gotten this thing to half-life, but I get it to half-life by burning through my entire mana bar and all of my my resources to thinger it, and then it just starts the fight, right? So this thing has 44% crit chance. So crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. To make this work. I'm gonna. The only thing that I can think of and I don't imagine that it's gonna work, but it's legitimately the only thing I can think of, is let's see. It doesn't do anything in either direction with the strategy that I was using. The physical damage is useless for this fight. The only way to do physical damage is if you're able to fully just oh right, yes, that wasn't how I did this. Okay, is it how I need to do this though? Which is more important? I could get counter on you. So it is better to do it this way, I think. Let's go with Mimic. We're gonna go do Mimic with yeah, we need Safeguard as well. With Reaping. And then that allows us to equip anything that we want. Okay. That allows us to equip the Slime Coat. We then equip the Undead Ring. The Vita Crown. And the other thing. The Bone Trophy. Now, at this point, we don't need HP boosts. Tempting, but no. We don't need that thing necessarily. Threatening is a good thing to have if we have space for it. We need Safeguard, we need Perfect Vision. We don't need Auto Revive because it doesn't matter meaningfully. We use Threatening. Okay. So, the goal here. Do we need to change up what anyone else is doing? I don't think so. Yes, we do. You're not going to be doing the exact same thing that you were just doing. But that's fine. We don't need to worry about it. We'll keep your current setup for now. Do we have the ability to cast Regen on somebody? We don't have Regen. We do have Regen. Fine. So, okay, what's happening now is we're double casting Protect and Regen. Pumpkin has 125 base HP. So, what we do now is Nightfall. Question mark. No, what we do now is Bloodwell. We now have 925 max HP. We now summon Guava. Our goal is to kill the Uprooted. We should be able to AoE the Uprooted down before things go crazy. We Nightfall. Bolty. We Sneak Attack. We're not going to continue to summon. That thing needs to die. Which it will to the next AoE. We get the poke. I guess I should have just nuked. Now. Nightfall comes out. This costs 300 HP. Rally Call comes out. We could actually kill this here. So let's just do it. You can cast Reverse Polarity on Pumpkin. You can't do that. Shit. You can cast Thunder, because, you know what, fuck it. I don't care. Pumpkin will go again, so it's fine. We can get the Silence off. It's gonna immediately. God damn it! It's gonna immediately revive. I just realized that it's gonna immediately revive. So Thunder comes out. Lucky Dice comes out. You can use Life Drink to keep yourself as high up as possible, but it Shermie and pairs that. Oh, it did pair it with an attack. Well, shit. That was unexpected. Why is it doing that? Okay, well, I guess that's the thing that happened. Rending Cut. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the thing off now. Let's see. Oh, right, you have the effect as if you're one of those, but you're not. I could Sleep Bomb. But that won't change where it is in its AI pattern. I think we might as well. Sleep Bomb. Then you can cast Thunder if you want. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna cast Thunder. Because we're at the point now. I guess I shouldn't have done that because I have now changed things in a way that isn't super helpful. We can activate Pomoa. Can't Trick Slash because it doesn't have an actual setup for this spell. You can cast Arrow on the Unrooted. Pomoa comes out. The Rally's gonna come out. And we're gonna just have a shit ton of damage coming up to us here. Sneak attack on you. We got it to half. It might be worth it to Sleep Bomb that one. Okay, that did nothing. The physical attack there hit for such little damage that this actually does work as a proof of concept. Oh, I'm not life-stealing. What am I thinking? Okay. So... right, I'm not life-stealing with that. So, if I... if I replace this with the Hemo Ring... the Vita Crown is not helping me much. I wonder if... I'm curious when this stuff applies, actually. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so I think that what we're going to do here, we're not going to try to do anything fancy with regards to killing off both of the ads. I think that we are going to fixate all of our damage to... What is that? What are the cooldowns that we have? We have 3 life steals. And okay, yeah, I think we might be able to make this work. So you don't have anything that you need to do on turn 1 in particular. So I'm going to sneak attack you to get some damage off before things start going to shit. You are going to Nightfall. You are going to I didn't cast my buffs. Can you reverse polarity before? You sure can, but that doesn't really help me that much. Right, we were going to Guava. So we Guava here. This allows us to start getting set up. And then instead of nuking with you, we instead cast Overload on Pumpkin. You are not going to do what you'd like to do yet, but you are going to double cast Protect and Regen. So, the fundamentals of this setup are going to rely on my ability to burn the unrooted down okay. You're not going to summon. We're going to skip your turn. No, we're going to attack. Get a little bit of chip damage. We're now using Bloodwell. No, we're going to use Life Drink. Life Drink up. We have a full slate of abilities in play. Apple has Mono Regen and can just spam Bolt on the boss. Do we... I guess we might as well activate Storm Stance just for funsies. And then we're going to activate Bolt on the boss. You are going to cast Remedy. This causes a little bit of damage. But importantly, it purges off the negative effect of that spell that we cast on ourselves earlier. We poke the Spirit Cage. I could have probably and should have potentially... Okay. I think we're going to be okay here. You are going to do a shit ton of damage here. We activate Satanic. Shroomy Leer comes out. The attack crits for 120 damage. We counter, which increases our maximum HP, which means that we regenerate more on our turn. Bolt. So, if I had the ability... to... I could use Reverse Polarity. Which takes too long to cast. I think you're gonna chill. You have a little bit of HP left to play with. I don't think I want... I could do MP Absorb. Unfortunately, this does do physical damage, I think. It doesn't do MP damage. If it did MP damage, I'd be in really good shape. Let's see. I just don't want to use my HP right now. I think we actually just attack. Okay, we have regen in play. What else do we need to do? Anything? We just keep poking. It's a crit for 120. And we now are in critical HP. Cast Bolt. Headbutt comes out. We counter. And the reason that we're being so careful with our mana is because eventually we're going to counter the Shaken Root to death. That's going to die eventually. And when it does, we want to be able to do another summon. Oh, right, I should have just attacked. And next turn, we have Life Drink. We should cast Refresh on French Silk, yes. Do we Bloodwell? Yes, we'll have Life Drink next turn, so we might as well just do this. We have the ability to sneak attack. We're not going to. We are instead going to cast Refresh on French Silk. Okay, the counter comes out. That is doing its bullshit, I think. We're currently safe. We're not safe if we do more, so we're just gonna chill on this. We have regen, shell, and protect up still, and I believe that this is going to punch me into range. We're at critical, Safeguard pops up, attack comes out, and it misses. And we can recast regen now if we want. We have time, but I would rather do a sneak attack because we're getting close to max AP. Attack comes out. Oh, we might die here. We're not going to because that's weaker, but that was closer than it needed to be. We can sneak attack. Again? Question mark? Yes, because there's no disruption doing it this way. And we just keep casting Bolt, and then you gonna Life Drink on the boss. That gives me 700 HP to play with. I feel like we can probably make this work. Without needing... So this is going to be casting Rally again. This is a good turn to Nightfall. Okay. We have gotten the regen. Okay, that is not going to bring us to critical. Which means that we don't have safeguard recasting. Okay, the boss is now going to be doing its combo. Which means that we have to use Satanic on it. Shroomy Leer comes out, does not quite bring us to critical. That does. We counter and safeguard. Spirit Cage is at half-life. So, you have a variety of things available to you, including Poke. And is Poke what we do? I think Poke might be what we do. Honestly, maybe I should just be using MP Sickle with you. Because you have nothing better to do, so you might as well be poking the MP bar rather than doing nothing. You could also do the same thing if you wanted. Because we now do have a situation where we could probably... Yeah, these two can get quite a lot done here. I think I need to... I need to stop the next attack. I think we sleep on you. Because we're not gonna need to hit you. 121, we counter. And Bloodwell is our only heal right now. But we don't need a heal yet. So I think we actually do just poke this. We still have Protect and Shell. This is the last turn that it's going to have its defensive thing up. Do we... Yes. We use the Shadow Cut here. Counter. Safeguard. Just continue hitting it with MP Sickle. Because it would be very nice to drain its MP and not have to deal with a thing there. Do we Bloodwell here? I actually don't think we do. Right now, we might actually... I think we're going to Rending Cut. Ooh, we could also... Sorry, not Reaping Cut. We're not going to do this. This is extreme. But if we do this, the boss is going to rally, and this thing can't do 200 damage on its own. So if we do this, we get a lot more damage out, and it's not a risk. As long as we don't fuck anything up. So the Headbutt comes out, that's 110 damage. Counter. We get very, very low on HP. And then we tag Life Drink. Yes, I'm going to tag Life Drink. Okay, that's a crit. Now the boss is going to hit me twice. Again. Before I can do anything. Which means we're going to eye gouge you. With this eye gouged, we only have boss damage coming out. This headbutt does nothing. That isn't even a crit. We're all set. MP Sickle. Reaping. We have 300 HP now. That is sufficient to survive the 2 attacks that are coming our way. We have Satanic coming up almost immediately. We're gonna wait until we're in a better position to do stuff. I need to scan. Do I have anything else that I need to do? I have Protect. I have almost 400 HP. This is the last turn that their damage is boosted for now. We're gonna cast Scan. Okay, it has 200 max HP, or 200 MP left. So, our goal now, it's using Rally this turn, is to, I think, can we Rending Cut this turn? We can, and we're going to. We can get away with it, so we should. We can Sneak Attack, question mark. Ooh, we need to cast Protect, actually. Let's Protect. We don't need Shell. Regen's coming out next turn. So we MP Sickle. Rally Call comes out. We MP Sickle again. Okay, it has 115 left. You are... We've got the Protect off. We do go before it goes, which is good because we need to. And do we have anything that we need to do here? We're going to use Satanic on Pumpkin's turn, which gives me enough HP to play with. We have Protect, and we have Regen. Okay, Satanic comes out. This preps us for the Shroomy Leer. We get the counter. And we need one more round of this, I think, after we finish here. Counter and Safeguard. Perfect. And Pumpkin is very low on HP, but very high on other things. I'm pretty sure we have... We're gonna tag Life Drinker. This gets me back up to full. And that's a good time to get us to full because it gets us there when we are... Okay, I think it costs 20 for it to use its res. So we are just going to drain it to 0 anyway, just in case. The boss is now out of mana. It should not be able to revive the other 2 now. And you're using Rally on a corpse. You're not using Rally on a corpse. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, Safeguard procs. Okay, it's using its full combo. We need to cast Regen on Pumpkin. You need to cast Thunder. You can cast Thunder a couple of times, we have enough mana to end the fight. There's a possibility that we die to... By we, I mean Apple. To pulling aggro. We don't have a great amount of lifesteal going out here. This is not optimal. But we got one of them down, and the other is doing 100 damage. Safeguard procs again. We can tag you with arrow if we want. And that's what we're doing. Okay, it's now going to be tagging me for more damage than I'd like, except it won't because I'm blinding it. Okay. It didn't have lethal there either way. But we do. Okay. Ugh. We got there. We got Gungnir. Gungnir is very good. We have acquired the Hand of Midas. Gold earned after battles increased by 150%. Woo! Okay. We have defeated the actual final boss. Let's see. We still have the Hermetic boss that we aren't going to be fighting, but I think that we have cleared basically every boss. I'm going to check the library. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can open the floodgates. I think that this is... We finished everything now that I think we're going to finish on this run, except for if there's some interesting things that people know about that I should do, that I'm happy to go run over and do. But yeah, we can 100% open the floodgates, because this, as far as I can tell, is the last of the major bosses that we're not specifically ignoring. So, whew, that was a rough fight. I could have made that easier on myself by having a hemo ring in place of probably the undead ring. That would have made things a little bit easier for me. Oh, okay. So we need to... So we do actually have another boss then. Okay. So the floodgates are not open then, because that means that we have like an actual... we have an actual thing to do. So floodgates aren't quite open, but we do have... thinger. This is going to be funny, because this is probably going to murder the hell out of me. It hadn't occurred to me to show this to the final boss. I was wondering if I needed to do something with it, and when, I think it was Astro Kitty said something about it being the goober thing. The goober, certificate is a, whatchamacallit, is kind of like a joke item and doesn't actually do anything, which is a fairly common thing to run into in games from this era. So let's go ahead and fight them again. You did it. You've gotten the proof of merit. The world that was made for adventurers like you. Been waiting for a long time with someone else who understands what adventure truly is. And now you're here. Looks like we have no need to hold back. Hope you're ready for the true final battle. Okay. So this is them again. Nighthawk is coming out. My assumption is that they are just going to be massively stronger, but are fundamentally going to be similar to what they were last time. Weirdly, the previous time, I don't think they actually had any non... Okay, she's casting Protect. Reverse Polarity on Pumpkin. Checkmate. Okay, life is good. Let's see. Do we need to cast Regen on Pumpkin? Shadowcut might kill us. It didn't kill us. That which does not kill us only makes us blood well. Okay, we now have 2,000 HP. We're basically impervious to physical damage. And if somebody nukes us, we are going to be completely boned. But for now, we're in actually a very good position. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and activate that. We've got Regen up. We're going to cast Protect because I'm concerned that Checkmate is going to just kill me from fairly high HP. You can chill for a while. You have Refresh. Rupture comes out. Don't love that for me. Okay, we can do Reaping. We'll just Nightfall. Whoop! We have 2,800 max HP and we're taking 18 damage from their attacks. Let's go. 3253 max HP. Okay, we're going to cast Remedy because we need to have that regen coming into play. Safeguard procs. Oh, Pumpkin. You monster. I assume that one of them is going to be able to revive now. Pop Nightfall. That was way more HP than I should have used. Holy shit. You don't have anything that's very useful against multiple targets, really. I guess I could Trick Slash Chloe to stop her from healing. But I don't know that I need to, so we could revive as well. Do we revive this turn? I think I do. We're going to cast Life. You're just casting Cure? Interesting choice. Interesting choice indeed. Oh, you know what I should do? We should poke Talon. I feel kind of bad for you, friend. Let's see here. We're in Nightfall again. This costs us how much? 700 HP? Ooh, should we do that? Or should we Life Drink? Off of Chloe. Our max HP is getting really high. Compared to our current HP. This is so funny. The counters are really doing a lot of work here. The other thing is that I really should have set myself up differently. I was not expecting to have, like, a reasonable attempt here. Like, I wasn't expecting that this was going to be going well enough for me to care about my setup. And I should have been more concerned about my setup because if I had a little bit less physical resistance, but I had lifesteal on my normal attacks, we would be in really just sicko mode right now. Firen is multi-target, so I think we're going to cast Firen. Okay, we have Nightfall. This consumes 600 HP to boost our max by a fuck ton. We miss Talon, we hit everybody else. Firen comes out. Is Chloe dead? Astley is at half life. I'm not going to backstab Chloe, I don't think. Do I sneak attack Chloe? I'm going to sneak attack Chloe. Chloe's down. Utsutemi comes out. Banish. Okay, that's rude. Well, so we have to burn down Astley first. Because... Wait, what? He used Banish twice. So I think we have to take out Astley first, or he'll just... She? Is Astley he or she? I don't know. They will start... I think Astley is actually she, her. I think that is the case. So, we need to keep Chloe alive. That's not actually particularly difficult to do. So, instead of having the undead ring, we'll swap that out for the Hema ring. It could just be a coincidence that happened, but I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that's intended. So what we're gonna do instead, I also don't know if that's what happens when Astley gets to half, or if that's what happens when I take out one of. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. I am become death. Okay, so we are going to start out with regen on Pumpkin. I don't know how important this is actually going to be in practice, but we are going to do it. And we are going to start spamming Nightfall. So we have 475 HP after using Nightfall. And the reason... We can cast Overload if we want. And we sure do. We sure do. Let's do it. You can... Sleep Aura is AoE. And you are going to use Firen. I think you're just going to use Firen every turn for most of the fight. Alright, you do have cover active, so we can dispel the cover if we want. Do we dispel the cover? Yeah, let's dispel the cover. Okay, we're gonna just sneak attack. It's fine to do some extra damage to Reed. Jesus Christ! Right, we haven't actually generated any threat on Talon yet. I should have dispelled Talon, actually. That would have been viable. Let's dispel Talon next. Okay. We could also just do some mana burn shenanigans, but we don't really need to do that, I don't think. Do we have the... I don't think we have the hat on, so... We could use Whirlwind, which hits for a decent amount of damage. And we might as well do it just because we have the buff already, but You can... I'll just use Flyrin. Okay. Now you might be asking, how are you going to do this if you're just... Can I hide 54% chance of success. Actually, I think we sleep bomb you. Just because that's guaranteed, and I don't really need it, so... Take aim on Pumpkin, we counter. And then we are going to... Nightfall. But yeah, I have a tricksy solution for how to deal with... Okay, so Banish happens when you get to half-life. It doesn't happen when I kill one of the allies. Interesting. Okay, so it's a half-life ability. I was thinking it would happen when I... Okay, so that means that once I get Astley to near half-life, I need to start going completely ham. So let's get Chloe down. We're still going to be AoEing with Pumpkin. Pumpkin is just going to use Nightfall every round. I do have to scan, though. Let's cast Overload on Pumpkin. You can cast Reverse Polarity on yourself, and then the Rogue can't hurt you anymore. And I think maybe we do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna Reverse Polarity. This will just block the Rogue's attack. Jesus! Okay, Safeguard. And you now have... You could cast Regen. I don't know if I want to cast Regen right now. I think I need to cast Dispel on Talon. That'll give me more HP overall. So we heal up by more than our max HP. And we are going to Bloodwell. Regen would have allowed me to use a different ability, but that's okay. Protect comes out on Astley. Now, one of the things that I need to do is I need to be doing single target damage with other people, and I basically need to... You know, I can generate threat on everyone with Pumpkin fairly easily. So... Do we fire in on you? No, because we don't want to do any more damage to Astley than we're already doing. So we're going to... Flare on you, maybe? Yeah, let's just do one flare on you. And we need to cast the detection thing on Astley eventually, but we don't need it yet. We're going to just tag a sneak attack here, and our goal is basically going to be to take out each of them one by one. we're actually going to stop using our AoE every turn, and we're going to use it more sparingly now. So the goal here is to keep Astley above half while burning down every other party member. And then once I've done that, I want to basically CC burn Astley. It's also possible that when Chloe goes down, Astley is going to do his thing anyway. It's possible that I need to do full Core Hound rules here and keep everybody very aligned in their HP. That is a possibility. We'll just have to find out. So we're gonna Nightfall. This kills Chloe, and Astley is still above half. And Banish comes out. Okay. That means we can't get Astley to half-life until we are ready to burn Astley down completely. Once Astley gets to half, we need to use the Witch's Hat, which we don't have equipped right now. Yes, we do. And we need to basically... So we'll need to keep a very close eye on Astley's HP. And we transition to half when we're ready to burst Astley into the ground. Which I don't know if I can do with my current party setup at all. But that's fine. We're going to scan Astley. Keyline doesn't have anything of particular importance to do this turn. Astley doesn't have very much HP. So that actually is interesting. So Astley's HP is fairly low here. If I were to use Explode... Explode does 2,736 to Astley with this character. Fire Breath does 1,300. I think we're summoning Guaba right now. This is potentially a bad idea. We can do 2,000 with you. What do you need to do? I guess I'll use Firina. This seems like a reasonable move to use right now. Shell's coming out, which we do not like. Safeguard pops. We need to Dispel. We can't allow that cover to continue to... Oh, we can't Dispel because of the cover. Actually, the cover doesn't matter. I should have just started doing damage. Okay, so we're now going to do Rending Cut. Sorry, we are going to do Bloodwell, apparently. You're immune to Paralyze. And Sleep, and Stop. And your abilities cost 100% less MP. You motherfucker. I know what you want from me. I know what you want. You start using Banish if I paralyze people? Huh. Okay. I know what this fucker wants from me. Don't you worry about it. Look, I'm picking up what you're putting down, my friend. It's been a long time. But I know what needs to happen here. Do we have... We don't need fast cast. We do need auto revival. I'm picking up what you're putting down, my friend. I get you. I get you. Now this might trigger another automatic fail state of some sort, which would be funny. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, let's save the game. It's also possible that he just starts doing it immediately on round 3 because he's, you know, kind of a dick like that. Checkmate. Did not kill. Let's see here. So what are we doing on round 1? On round 1, are we rupturing you? On round 1? I think so, because Rupture does the most single target. You've got to be kidding me. You gotta be making a joke here. Making with the ha-ha funnies, I see. The hee-hees and the ha-has. You don't have the fire thing, damn it. It's fine, don't worry about it. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to use Fire Breath. And we're going to use Explode? Do we use Explode right? We can't Explode yet. We're going to Fire Breath. Can you not Fire Breath? You can't Fire Breath, you don't have that ability. Okay, we're going to cast Reverse Polarity on French Silk. Which... no, that doesn't help me any. I think we're going to Whirlwind here. We're not going to Whirlwind, we don't have anything except Explode. We have no abilities except Explode, it's fine. We're going to Firina, does a lot of damage. Protect comes out, which is great for us. Snowfang comes out on Apple, who re-raises, which is good, because we need them to be alive for this. Okay, we are going to... we can't Dispel... ooh, we can't Dispel the cover. We can't Dispel the cover. But we can Sleep Bomb Reed. If we Sleep Bomb Reed, then Reed can't use the cover, I think? Okay. And then we double explode? I think we double explode. No, we don't double explode. We need something that takes time. That gets me after the explode, preferably. This gets me after he goes, but it doesn't go after the explosion. Ooh. This does. So this would bring me to like a full new turn. Unfortunately, the shell did come out. And wait. We should be able to Dispel now. We can at least get rid of the cover. And then you can explode if you want for only 2,500 damage, which isn't enough. It's not enough damage. It's not going to be enough. We need more. Okay, I'm going to hope that we don't do lethal here. Or not lethal, that we don't drop them low enough to... But no, it doesn't matter whether I drop them low enough. I think we have to go all in here. So we're going to go all in here. Do we explode or do we use flare? We explode. Okay, we're going to explode. That does bring them below half. Shadowcut comes out, is not lethal. Niltzi comes out. Silences the enemy team. Including Astley, I should point out. And then we don't have the buff that they want to have on Astley. Can Astley banish while... Astley cannot banish... Astley can banish. Was that a counter? What was that? Astley did manage to banish there. Okay, that's fine. That's fairly predictable. So let's change our setup a bit. You are not a very good summoner. Do we use Pointy Hat? No. You, I think, have the appropriate setup. Aside from... Oh, this does do 15% more fire damage. I think this is the appropriate setup for Apple. Apple should set up this way. This makes sense. I think I need to double cast Dispel at some point, or... No, we put the Aegis to sleep on round 1 if we can. Let's see if putting the Aegis to sleep on round 1 triggers the banish chain. My assumption is no. So, if we immediately put you to sleep... We could also just put you to sleep. But if we put you to sleep... we can purely focus single target damage. I don't know if Chloe's going to... I don't know if Chloe's going to shell or protect on round 1. I'm going to Rending Cut. We got the crit. We can do 2,700 damage here. No. We're changing our setup. We're changing our setup. Not because this isn't going to work, but because we want to be... we want to be true to ourselves and what we represent. And that means giving ourselves Equip Sword, giving ourselves the sub-command of Chivalry, and equipping the Oily Sword. And we're going to give ourselves the Beatsmith Vest. And if we have Perfect Vision, we're going to get Venom Coat just for funsies. Oh yes, oh yes. You have the Flame Seeker, you have the Guts Busby, you have the turn 1 Ultra Nuke lined up. And yes, I think we should be fine here. So This probably won't be lethal on its own, but it'll be really cool. And it'll be probably fairly close to lethal on round 1. This might be the maximum I can possibly do with this. Let's check this strat. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and use resist break on turn 1. On Astley. Snowfang comes out. Trickery. Is that what we want? Hell... Actually, we could have used Frost. We didn't need to do what we did, but that's fine. We are going to Rupture on Astley. We got the crit. We have another turn. So I guess we Eagle Stance. And... I don't fucking know. Poison... Checkmate. Let's checkmate. Okay. We are going to... We're going to activate Rending Cut just for funsies. And we're going to find out what happens. You got the cover off before... Okay. I need to equip Initiative, apparently, on Apple. Oh, shit. Apple's too slow. They have Preemptive as a skill, though, so we're fine. We don't need Focus Shield. We can get Preemptive. This gives us a substantial speed boost. So... Oh, shit! This is funny! This is a very, very significant speed boost. We tag Resist down. And we can explode for 9,000 damage. Banish me on turn 1, baby. Just do it. Immediately banish me. I dare you to banish me on turn 1. I deserve it. I deserve it. We get the Rupture off. And then we Nightfall. Oh, that's not quite lethal. It's not quite lethal. Do we have Fire Breath on you? We sure don't. But we do have Explode, which we can't use because the thinger. Oh no. What do we have that goes immediately? That's all that we have that goes immediately. Oh no. Oh no. They're getting off a second banish. Okay, unfortunately, Apple's in a dangerous spot here from the thingamabobber. I could explode on Talon. Or on Chloe if I wanted. That's so funny. I appreciate how this has played out. If only I had a... I'm just gonna use Fire. Banish does come out on Keyline. Shadow Cut comes out and does do lethal, which is what I expected to happen. We're down to just Pumpkin, and that's still not lethal. So we're dead, I think. Can you banish my last character? You died to the dot! Pumpkin! Bloodwell? Oh shit! Rupture comes out? That's very bad for me. Let's see here. Do I Nightfall? I guess I just keep Nightfalling, right? The only concern is the Rupture itself killing me, which might happen, so I can't let my max HP get too high, but I think I'm actually okay. Pumpkin, the god of destruction. Whew, boy. Okay, that was a big honkin' HP drop. Let's go ahead and tag Chloe with Satanic. And we can continue Nightfalling. It is very funny that I think Pumpkin just solos them here. Chloe can heal, but not for very much. Unless she has better heals when she's below half. No, her heals are still garbage. And if we didn't have the counter, we would probably die to the dot here. The counter is making it so that they're basically not hurting me on their turns. Like, I'm actually healing for more on their turn than they're dealing in damage. The big concern is going to be Talon. Because we don't have a lot of attacks going out toward Talon. Our accuracy against Talon isn't, like, as bad as you'd think. It's only 57%, which is okay. You know, that's not complete garbage. We're going to go ahead and Satanic on Chloe. Though maybe I shouldn't, because Chloe... I have, like, the most... No, I need to kill Chloe before I kill Reed. I'm gonna Reaping Cut Talon. I should probably just use normal attacks. I'm not sure. Bruiser Crush. Okay. Ooh, boy. We did in fact die. We did in fact die. Okay. We need to do that without losing literally everybody. So we don't need 50 in our favor because we want to go after the boss. Luckily, that doesn't mean we take off preemptive. That means we add delay 20. It would have been very funny if we had won that there, but we did not deserve to win that there. Delay 20 isn't enough. We need to do more of a delay. We're gonna get this delay set up correctly. Okay. We can just do the delay 40 instead. So just 10 will hopefully get us where we need to be. Yes. So with this setup, we go before the AGs, and we are all set. So we're activating Eagle Stance, and we are going to activate Resist Break on Astley. Then Astley goes before everybody else goes. I immediately open up with Rupture. We did not crit. And we explode on Astley. That does most of Astley's damage, or HP and damage. And then we can checkmate if we want. Is that what we wanted to do? Checkmate seems like a reasonable choice. We're going to checkmate. And then our highest damage move on you is Reaping Cut. So, Astley is going to get off a single banish here. Gets it off on Keyline, who used the Rupture. And unfortunately, one of the two people who can AoE is down. However, Astley is now down. And you can use Nightfall and hopefully pull aggro. If you don't pull aggro on everybody, it's going to be very sad for me. Because if French Silk goes down before picking up... Jeez! We're back in the same spot. We're going to do this again. It's going to work. Just bear with me here. Do we have the ability to make you do a bit more damage on turn 2? Not necessarily. Did I appreciate having you dropped? Not really, no. We need to choose who's going to get disintegrated on this initial turn. Though, you know, we could go all in. Do we want to go all in? Let's go all in. We're going to go all in and try to win the fight before... I just realized that I don't think I have initial oomph. I don't have initial oomph. So, if we take threatening off, that doesn't get us initial oomph on its own. We would need to get rid of Perfect Vision or Safeguard if we want initial oomph. We're getting rid of Safeguard. We're going to keep initial oomph. So this will give us one turn of crazy damage, and we're going to make it even crazier. We're going to go all in on this. If we can burn down the boss on the initial turn, the rest of the fight isn't that intense. So we're going to Eagle Stance here, and we are going to Resist Break. With that done, the boss is going to take a hit and heal back some of the damage that I just dealt. We are then going to Rupture the boss. We're going to hope for a crit. We missed entirely. That might mean that we just don't have enough damage to do the job. I needed to change Keyline's ability setup, apparently, and I didn't realize that I did. So we're going to checkmate. And that procced. Reaping Cut. Okay, Apple goes down. There we go. No banishes today, friend. No banishes today. So, we can now use Swallowtail if we want, but I don't think we want a Swallowtail yet. We're going to first use Checkmate on Chloe. Is that what I want? Yeah. I was thinking maybe I had something more important to do, but I don't think I do. So, now we can activate Bloodwell. This should pull aggro on everybody, basically, except, oh, not for Talon, because Talon needs to get dispelled. Let's Dispel Talon. Shadow Cut comes out on Pumpkin anyway, so we're all good. You can explode if you want. We're not going to explode this turn. You'll note that I didn't say we're not going to explode. Let's see. We're going to cast Overload on Pumpkin. And we are going to Swallowtail now. And we are going to Nightfall. Let's go. Now, we do not have Lifesteal. We don't have that right now. What are you doing attacking somebody else? Rude. Okay, so we do have regen, so we don't die to the thing that just procced on us. We're okay for now. However, we don't have any lifesteal, which means that we don't have the ability to just willy-nilly fuck around with it. We're going to try to kill Talon next. Because Talon is the one that is going to negate my regen, and that makes me sad. Casting Life on French Silk. I should potentially kill Chloe, because there's a possibility that Chloe has the ability to pull some bullshit. She might be able to revive. And if she does revive, I'll be very sad. How much am I? Only 450, we're fine. Okay, so we've got multiple people that are below half. Take Aim comes out. We countered that. We can Rupture Chloe if we want. Do we actually want to Rupture Talon instead? I'm gonna Rupture Talon instead. Talon's kind of a pain in the ass to deal damage to. Okay, we're going to Eagle Stance. And we are going to Swallowtail. We can Firina here. We cannot AoE. We don't have enough. We don't have enough HP to AoE. Okay, Firina, I think, is lethal on Chloe here. So we don't have to worry about Chloe reviving. We do still have to worry about Reed. We haven't seen what Reed's subclass is. So I think what we do here... Oh, we have to cast Dispel, actually. So Dispel is coming out on Talon. No more evasion for you. Then we... I think just checkmate. We did not get what we wanted there. Okay, we do still have Rupture up. So let's go ahead and Nightfall. You're done. Okay, so now we're down to just Reed. So we're going to cast Bolt. No, we're going to cast Fire on Reed. And we could remove the bleed. And we probably should do that. So let's remove the bleed. Casting Fire. We are casting Checkmate. We are casting Scan. You have 8,000 HP left. We're gonna Blood Well. That's concerning. We got a Checkmate proc. Okay, and we can, I guess, use a Satanic. No, we're gonna do a Reaping Cut, do as much damage as possible. This isn't gonna pull aggro off of French Silk, unfortunately, who just did way too much damage. However, what we can do is cast Resist down on Reed. And now we explode. Hey, we got LP. Let's go. That spark you have for adventure, it means so much that it's out there. And that you have it. Hope you'll always continue to fuel that spark. Never let it die. You've done so much already, but let this mark a beginning rather than an end. It delights me to know you'll conquer any challenge that lies before you. Go catch 'em. Gotta catch 'em all. We've reached my end and your beginning. Promise me, pursue what you know to be true. Keep interest and wonder, and don't lose sight of what has been lost. As I've always believed and not once wavered, that you would be the one who understands. Okay, so we fought the second form of this boss, the form that spams the thinger. This form of this boss was a very technical fight, and it was very cool that it's a technical fight that's set up to optimize for Explode. Explode is a very cool ability, and I love that you get an item in this area, that you can steal an item in this area that increases your Explode damage, and that's the solution to the second form of this fight. That's very cool. I really, really appreciate that. I also appreciate that the boss didn't have like a gargantuan amount of HP. This was a fairly small HP pool. The combined HP pool is a little bit larger than the boss that you need to kill to get there. And the combined HP pool is smaller than the combined HP pool of the Sequoia boss with its 2 ads at the very start of the fight. But yeah, that was a very, very cool very cool boss. And it was a very cool game overall. Like, I really enjoyed basically everything about that game. There was the one boss, that Sequoia boss, I think is overtuned. I personally think that that's overtuned. But we figured out a way to make it work using just the sheer power of Pumpkin. And so I'm not, too miffed about it. And I'm very excited. So we managed to get all of this done. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I should probably try to get the the Ma mod working again and start that up tomorrow. I think that would be fun if I can make it work. The issue that I have is, for some reason, every time I leave Ma for a while, it stops working. And I have to reinstall it, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's like I shouldn't, in theory, have this problem. I don't know what's happening. So, we're back in the spawning meadows. Let's see. Alright, so I think the ending is the same ending. It just gives you a harder fight to play with. Which I also enjoy. I think that was fun. So, could do Hylics. What's Hylics? I also need to check. Does anybody know when Silksong is supposed to come out? Because that is going to devour a significant portion of my life when it finally comes out. So, we have True Adventurer beat the game's secret last boss. So, do we want to get the last 2 achievements here? Because we have every achievement except 2. So, is it more amusing to leave Name Changer and Gender Changed undone, or is it more fun to actually like get every achievement in the game? I very rarely get every achievement, and it would be kind of funny to just be like, yeah, we're gonna maintain that by just not doing this. I wonder if I can do the gender change thing and then just not change my gender. Yeah, the floodgates are fully open. We have beaten the game. We have every achievement except the gender clinic and the person who can change our name. I think the name-changing person is in the Boomer Society? Maybe? I don't know. That's the gender clinic. Okay. Are there any deals? Okay. Oh, I forgot that there's actually a difference in your stat block. Okay, so we got that achievement. And then we can change our name. I think that's the Boomer. So let's go do that, and then we'll have every achievement. Yeah, this was a really fun game. This was very cool. I should keep an eye out for more. I guess I don't need to. Actually, you know what? I should return the Boomer Shield, and then. Oops. And then take the Boomer Sword, because I don't know if I had it on my list. I don't think I had this on my list. This is actually pretty interesting. That's a useful item. Okay, did that do it? No. There we go. We've now got every achievement in the game. Oh, really? Which fishing spot was that? Was that the ice one? Or was that the other one? Let's see. Let's go grab that and see what we missed out on there. On the raft. Okay. So what is the fastest way to get to the raft? I remember what it looked like. It was the place that looked very... There we go. So probably Mars. Ugh. So which one was... I thought this was the one that... Didn't we... Didn't we already get this, though? I thought the reason that that wasn't working was because we already got this item. I guess not. Plate of the Whale. Plus 500 max HP. Yeah, I can see this. I can see this making a big difference. The one issue is just that it's like, because of the fact that the boss has the capacity to do like, I think like around 2,000 damage on that turn, depending on like how it syncs up its turn and its crits with the other thing. Because what was the defense on that? The defense on that was only like 50, right? Wasn't it like terrible defense? It's only 50 defense. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that would have helped too much with my particular setup, but maybe it would have. I think that most people are probably doing more coherent tanking setups than I've been doing. I've been doing some weird nonsense. So, I would imagine that people are doing different things than what I've been up to. So let's see if I use the super rod again with the plug lure. There's a sanity ring. Immunity to confusion. Interesting. Alright. So, I think that's basically it for today. It's almost 1 o'clock. And we've beaten the game. We've gotten every achievement. And that's pretty exciting. I don't have the unlocked all achievements thing for many games. There's very few games that I do. I think tomorrow I'll probably be starting up Ma. Because I don't know of anything else that I would start up instead. So I'm probably not going to get sidetracked onto something else. Unless Silksong decides to come out tomorrow, which is possible. Or someone says, oh, there's this RPG you should check out. And I just look at it and go, I can wait. We'll see. So I don't see a release date for Silksong, so it's probably not tomorrow, but it could be. It would be real funny. It would be real funny if it came out tomorrow. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure to stream for you today. And I hope to see you again tomorrow when we will be doing something or other. Later,